You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcast on promoting healthier food choices.
As healthy food gurus like to say, you are what you eat, and they're probably right.
The problem is that nowadays, calorie-rich processed food wrapped in ambiguous labels is easy to get, cheap and heavily promoted. But what if consumers could be prompted to make healthier food choices? Stay with us.
The link between high consumption of trans fats, sugar and salt found in high amounts of processed foods and an increased risk of heart diseases, diabetes and cancer is sadly a well-established one.
That's why, in the absence of an EU strategy, countries such as Finland, Hungary, France, Denmark and most recently the UK have introduced taxes on unhealthy types of food and drink, a sugar tax on sweetened drinks for example, to discourage their consumption. But the effectiveness of these taxes has been, at least, debatable.
Actually, studies comparing punitive policies with reward schemes have shown that subsidising the production of healthier food can also be effective, maybe even more so.
The reason being that positive messages such as those encouraging you to eat more apples or beans are better received by consumers than negative messages condemning bad choices.
Well, after all, no one likes being continuously told off, right?
Right. The question is, knowing what triggers changes in consumers' behaviour, how can the public sector encourage private companies to offer healthier products?
Well, as consumer demand for healthier food continues to rise, food companies are increasingly willing to get on board this movement, so it's the perfect time for public authorities in Europe to come up with incentives to consolidate this change.
To do that, we need to first evaluate the different actions taken by different member states and see which ones work best and so could potentially be applied more widely.
And while a fiscal policy that supports subsidies could be promising, we would also need to assess how subsidies could be distributed fairly among businesses, ensuring that SMEs are not sidelined and that companies making the greatest efforts are duly rewarded.
Food labelling is already regulated within the EU, but a clearer and simpler labelling system enabling consumers to compare products according to their real health benefits is necessary.
This would also prevent companies from making health claims around the absence of unhealthy ingredients or the presence of high amounts of supposedly healthy ingredients in products which may not entirely justify their healthy image.
To conclude, it's worth recalling that governments have taken the lead in changing the public's perception of smoking and drink driving, so why shouldn't eating habits be next?
Why not? What's clear is that with the right guidance, food and drink companies will be better positioned to spread the right messages through the art of marketing, which they have so skillfully mastered.
You're listening to the European Parliamentary Research Service podcasts.